All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. We are absolutely blessed today to have a rock star real estate agent sharing her story with us, talking about what she does in order to create a massively successful real estate business. So, Karen Rawlings, if you're ready, I'm going to turn everything over to you. Let's wrap up by 9:25 in order to give everybody an opportunity to ask questions. Guys, if you have a question, hold it to the end. If you want to go ahead and throw up your digital hand while Karen's talking, that's great because we'll just go to the questions as they come in. All right, Karen, the floor is yours.
Good morning. So I want to share with all of you my 7 habits of highly effective real estate agents. So I've been doing this course for many, many years, and over the years it's changed. I've been in real estate for more than 30 years, but these 7 habits never change. The technology changes, the way we do it changes. So I'm going to go through this with you this morning. These are my 7 habits. So number 1, make a list. And most of you are probably doing this, but you can add to your list on a daily basis. So the first thing you want to do is put a list of everyone you know. And if you're a teacher, you have kids, or you have friends, relatives, go through your phone and you'll find plenty of people that you can add to your database. And then we stay in touch with them at least every month. And I can send these slides to John and he can send these to you. So we're constantly staying in front of our contacts and customers, and you keep adding to that list. We do some local advertisements, which also adds to the list. Some of you have local papers in your area. We advertise in a local paper. We try to put something fun in there to make people call us. And whenever they call us, then they get added to that database. So one of the mistakes I made in real estate over my career is not adding as many as I can and then keeping up with them. So you want to keep doing that. Habit number 2 is make a list. You want to grab your business cards and go prospecting. So prospecting is very, very important. And it's a habit that I got into a long time ago. But I don't only give my business cards out, I get a business card back. So there's a little card on the right here. When I go into a restaurant or I get my nails done or I meet new people, I ask them to please fill this out. And I say, hey, I'm having a contest this month. And my manager says that we win a prize, whoever gets the most contacts. So I was in a restaurant one time and I asked the lady who was my server, I said, have you thought about getting a real estate license? And she said, I don't know if I'd be good at it. And I said, well, give me your information. And she's now been with me for 12 years just by getting her information and sending it out. We also run little promotions just to get the community involved. So this was a campaign that we did on foreclosures, and we called it Deals on Wheels. And we offered to take people around to 6 or 7 houses and show them what a foreclosure looks like. And we only sold one house from the campaign, but we got 36 people into our database. So it's a constant growing thing, meeting people, making contacts. I always have fact sheets at the houses when I do open houses, because when people come in, you want to hand them something that looks nice. If it looks nice, they may become your customer. But one of the nice things about this is we always have them sign in, because then we get their names. And if they like your fact sheet, they're more likely to give you a call. One of the things that we do in our area is a newsletter. And this newsletter goes out every month, and we send it to our marketing area. And we try to do different campaigns. Like if it's Halloween, we'll put a pumpkin on it. If it's the 4th of July, we'll do 4th of July things. And it just gives information on what's going on. We do some buyer seminars, but it's always about building your database, staying active in your community, talking about events that are coming up and that are happening. Habit 3 is open houses. So I have what are called open house parties, and I like to do my open houses every weekend. Sometimes I do them more than once a weekend. There's one agent in my area that does open houses not only every weekend, but he'll do an open house from 10 to 12 on Saturday and then 2 to 4 on Saturday. And then he repeats it on Sunday, because buyers are always out looking, but so are sellers. And open houses are a great source to meet people And I try to have little snacks at the open houses, things that are just in, little containers of pretzels or popcorn or a water with your label on it. People like to receive things when they come to an open house. And then they go into our database. And if I get a house that's very special, this little thing on the right, I had 100 people at one of my open houses. It was packed because we said the house had been renovated and you need to come and see it. And then when someone signs in at my open house, I say to them, if you would print your name very neatly, then I can send you a book of coupons and you can save $5,000 on your home purchase. And even if they say, well, I'm already working with another agent, I say, that's okay. Just sign in and I'll send it to you. Saves you $200 on blinds, $50 on your electrical inspection. So they're saving money and they're happy to print their name neatly. Then all of those people go into my database and then we let them know about upcoming events in our area and even more open houses. Charitable organizations. So I belong to an organization called the Lions, and the Lions are the largest service organization in the whole world. And my daughter Maggie jokes around and she says, well, it's like Boy Scouts for adults. And I'm like, yeah, but it works. So we meet once a month, and the Lions are an organization of people that are a little bit older. So they are likely to be people that are downsizing, which is great. And so I probably do 2 or 3 house sales a year just from the Lions. So I don't know if John told you or not, but I usually sell between 90 and 100 houses a year. And it's basically from these 7 things that I do over and over again. So I live in a small community, but you can do it in any community. And you just get out there and meet the public and get names and send them information about what you're doing. I also have a little ad in the church bulletin where I'll donate a little bit of money back to the organization that I'm trying to help. And people like that. People like to see that you're involved in your community. And we also sponsor a lot of little events for the various schools around because they're always asking us to contribute. So we do. And we have events in the area every year. There's 2 events in our hometown. And we always have a table. We always participate. And we try to give away things that are free because people like that. Networking is huge. When I first started in real estate, I didn't have a lot of business. So I joined an organization called BNI, and it's Business Networking International. So every single, I think it was like a Thursday morning, we would meet at 7:30 in the morning, and it was one doctor, one lawyer, one real estate agent, one carpet cleaner. And the purpose was for all of us to share leads. So we shared leads and we built that business up that way. Now I belong to other organizations that you meet with people, you get to know people. And now I'm doing a little more networking among other realtors in the area because I want to build my agent attraction business. But you want to refer business back and forth. And one of the things that I got very good at was asking people that I work with if they would send me business. Like my carpet guy, I was constantly sending him business. So I was asking for him to send me business back. So it's just networking. And I go to at least one networking event per month. So it's the Lions or it's the Chamber of Commerce. I definitely think all of you should join your Chamber of Commerce. We meet once a month. I did take a little leave of absence right now, but I'm still a member of the Chamber of Commerce. It's about 250 businesses in my community, and they meet once a month. So that gets you more names, more contacts. And I always say real estate's a contact sport. The more people you contact, the better you're going to do. And then you have to stay in touch with them. So networking is huge. Next is number 6. And I keep saying this to agents over and over again. Know your business. And this one says attend a training twice a year. So I go to some of the EXP conventions twice a year, but there's also 80 hours of training in the world. And I went in and took a training class on luxury homes. And I had not sold a lot of luxury homes when I took the class. So pre-COVID, I didn't do a lot of luxury homes. Now I do. And I took the class in the world. So I'm always telling agents, keep up on your training. And I love this John Dietz call because it forces me to be on this call at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is painful because I don't like to be doing anything quite that early. But it's good training and it keeps your mind working. And all these people I'm meeting, it's teaching me new techniques. So when I meet with a seller or a buyer, I have a better use of the language and just using new words that John keeps throwing at me. So it's great. And I also took Floyd Wickman years ago, Sweat Hogs, and Brian Buffini is another good one. So if you're always staying on your game, it's like if you go to the gym every day, you're going to look better than if you don't. And if you go to trainings every day or every week, or just look at things that always learning, then you're going to do better at real estate, because real estate's not easy. But once you get it rolling, it becomes much easier as time goes by. And then the last one, this is probably the one that I have to look at time. How are we doing? We're doing good.
You're good.
The last one, this is probably the one that has been the best for me, is I got advertisers. So I have some examples here. All of these are people I do business with. So the animal trapper, the person that does my termite reports, my electrician, the lady that does my estate sales, my heating and air conditioning. You guys are involved with all these business owners and you promote their business every month. So I went to each of them and I said, hey guys, I want to do a newsletter and I want you all to help me pay for it. So my sister and I, she was my partner at the time, we spent $40,000 the first year on our newsletter, but we were investing in our business. If you were going to open up a shoe store, you'd go buy some shoes and you'd rent some office space. So I said, Sherry, let's get these advertisers. And we started mailing out the newsletter. It's about $5,000 a month, but each advertiser pays a little bit. So it's about $150 for each of these folks to be in the newsletter. And then I call them and I'll say, hey, Chuck, you just put in a new water heater for me. Do you know anybody who is thinking of buying or selling? If you do, keep me in mind. So these advertisers have been excellent, and our newsletter goes out every month. So if you need to contact me, that's my information. And then give me 2 seconds. I want Brenda to come over and show me how to go back to the meeting for questions, because I don't know how to do that. So give me 1 second. Okay, I did it. So actually, Brendan did it. So I cut by. So I called Brendan and I said, Brendan, I don't know how to do this where you put the slides up. So anyway, did it work okay?
You were amazing. And
okay. Does anybody have any questions? Because thank you. So these 7 things I do over and over and over again, and it has changed. In the beginning, we didn't have computers and we didn't have cell phones and we had pagers. And so it's changed. But what's great is now you have things on social media. So we not only have the print that ends up in your mailbox, but we also have the Instagram and the Facebook, and we make little videos. And what we're trying to do is work with all the people in our community. So when I go into a restaurant, I talk to the restaurant owner. They know who I am. I know who they are. And then I always say, it's a Brian Buffini term. I always say, by the way, if you know anybody that wants to buy or sell a home, give us a call. But the newsletter is in mailboxes. And then my son-in-law, Tony, he sends out an e-newsletter. So I guess it's every month it goes out. So in February, we do Valentine's Day. And then in March, we do, what's the one that just went by?
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, so it just keeps you in touch. And then we also put in our ads things that will make people call. Like, did you know that the state of Maryland will give you $20,000 towards your student loans? And did you know that Truist Bank is giving away money? And just things that are going to make the phone ring. So that's my 7 habits. And does anybody have any questions on how we do it?
Karen, you did an amazing job. You've got a lot of comments in the chat here. Everybody is giving you kudos for the value that you brought to the group. And Todd Bailey's got his hand up. So guys, we're gonna go to Todd. If you have a question, please raise your digital hand so that you're in line immediately following Todd. Okay, Todd, talk to
Karen, thank you so much. This is sensational. Couple questions. At the beginning, you said you to add about 200 people to your database. So I want to know how many you're actively um, working, if you will, and how you. I found that 200 to 250 like A clients or number one clients are about the max that I can do, but just want to get your thoughts on that.
So we have a database of about 5,000. So my son-in-law has it on Constant Contact and KV Core. So a little blip goes out to all 5,000 every single month, just so that they know we're here. And then I have my small group of people that I know are going to constantly be referring back and forth to me. So we send them something nicer for holidays, Thanksgiving, things like that.
And how many is that number?
That's a really good question. I would say probably 500. And it's a lot of, when my kids were little, I added all the soccer moms and soccer dads, and then they grew up and now they have kids and, so you add them. So it sort of grows. And I just try to stay in touch, with just little things in the newsletter, simple things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey guys, raise your hand. I'm doing math here, so that's why my head is down. So somebody just speak up and talk.
Well, if you start with a small newsletter and just ask your service providers to be in the newsletter with you, because my plumber makes a ton of money off of me. When I do my home inspection, I've got the whole list and I call them. So you have them be in your newsletter, and it can be a newsletter that's mailed or it can be a newsletter that's just online. And then you have paying advertisers and you sort of play off of that.
I love your newsletter. Karen, is that newsletter something you send out snail mail or is that an email?
It's snail mail. So it goes to 15,000 homes because older people read the newspapers and the newsletters. My middles, who are in their 30s, they do everything on their phones. And my youngest, who's in his 20s, he doesn't have a mailbox at his house. So
No.
you have to be doing it with the Instagram and the Facebook and the TikToks and the social stuff, which my kids do for me now. But the print is going to get your older people, and older people are going to downsize. So you're going to get two sales for one.
You said 15,000. Did I get that number right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, and how often is that going out?
It's supposed to go out monthly, but we usually don't do it in August and December. So
Wow.
probably 10 months.
Okay.
And the postage is about $5,000 for the printing and the postage. But if you have 30 advertisers and they're each paying $125, you're covered. And
That's
then the new agents that come on my team, we're doing it by zip code. So 20904, Juanita Perry in my group does that. And it's a shorter newsletter.
love
And
it.
if you guys want me to mail this to you, I'm happy to mail you what we do.
Love it.
Hers newsletter is smaller and simpler, and then she has the advertisers on the back. Covers the postage.
By the way, guys, so 500 people, Todd, 500 close contacts. If you're reaching out to them 4 times a year in order to have 4 conversations, it works out to 8 conversations a day over 250 days.
Four,
Uh,
4 times a year, you said,
once,
John?
once a quarter, you should be reaching out to those close contacts once every 3 months and having conversations with them. That's one of your touches. If you're doing that and you've got Karen's 500, that is 8 conversations per day. Matthew Kemps, you're on mute, buddy. I don't know. There you
On the newsletter, the only thing I've had issues with in the past, we've done newsletters. I don't know who's receiving them or who's tracking them. Again, unless we call them. Has there been anything you've done to know like who's actually reading them so you can figure out where to focus your efforts on?
Yeah, what I found is that older people read the newsletters. So they go to the mailbox, they like getting their mail, and they read the newsletters. And there's usually tips in there, like, how do you make the floors not squeak? And it's time to turn off your hose bibs unless you're in Tampa and you don't have to do that. But up here, we have to turn our stuff off or the pipes will freeze. Just little tidbits. And it goes out and they read it. They call me up. They'll see me at the grocery store and they go, "Oh, I got your newsletter. I'm so excited. I didn't know that color was popular now. I thought we were still painting the town gray." So it's fun stuff.
Just out of curiosity, Karen, so out of the 100 deals you're doing a year, what percentage of those are coming from repeat referral business?
I'm going to say probably 80% come from people that just call me on the newsletter. And then I give the like buyer leads I give out to my agents because I don't do buyers anymore. So I'm a listing agent and I'm trying to be more of a agent attraction agent and do a little bit less of it. But they'll call me up and say, "I got your newsletter, come list my house." They don't even interview any other agents.
I just asked the same question, but not repeat and referral, but for new business of the 90 deals. How much? So 10% is new business then?
Oh goodness, I don't know. I should know that, right, John? I'm terrible. I think I'm going to say 80% of my business is probably, 50% is probably new business. 50% is probably someone telling someone to call me. So I was thinking yesterday's listing appointment was a referral from my contractor who's in my newsletter. And then the listing appointment before that was from Sherry, my sister's church friend. So we're in the church bulletin too. So we get business. Those are referrals. So that would not be repeat.
Okay.
Holy cow. All right, Matthew Kemps, you're up.
I'm gonna ask this as best I can. If for your, let's call it your older crowd that's reading the news, your newsletter, do you think if there, because I'm a control freak, that's why I'm asking this question. If there was a QR code, do you think they would know to scan the QR code?
Some will, some won't. So my son-in-law, Tony, he puts QR codes on my postcards. I don't even know how they work, but we get calls from people that say, "Hey, we saw your QR code," and then it pops up somehow. So I got 3 postcards 3 hits on the QR code. So I do know what they are, and I know younger people use them.
Amazing.
Okay, thank you.
Karen,
You're welcome.
Karen, you were amazing. You were absolutely amazing. I don't like to leave any hands up, so we are
You
over
are
time here,
amazing.
guys, but let's get one more in here. Lauren, your hand is up. Talk to us.
Can y'all hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I'm having headphones on. It sounds like you have a huge database. How are you keeping up with everything? It sounds like you also have a team. So are you delegating things out or are you doing everything yourself?
Well, in the beginning, I did it myself. And then, so I've been doing this for almost 40 years and I love it and it never gets boring. But when I was your age, I typed the labels on a typewriter and we copied them in a Xerox machine. Now that we've advanced a little fast forward, Tony and Brendan put all of my stuff into KV Core and Constant Contact. And then, so we have a database set up. And when we're really good, we'll put in there, John Deese. Yeah, he's the coach. Or, Joe Smith, he's the listing appointment that I went on Magnolia. And so it's all in there, but just staying in touch with people. And if, for example, you might speak a different language, you might speak Spanish, I would play with that. I've got, we have 12 languages on my team and we use them. We did a little video where Yulia, she speaks Ukrainian and Russian and Jess speaks Portuguese and, Delilah speaks Spanish and I speak English. And so we said, "Welcome to our open house." And then Delilah said, "Welcome to our open house" in Spanish. And then we send the video out and it's fun. So you need to push that out too, that you have a second language.
We can just keep going and going and going. Guys, if you got amazing value today, raise your hand. Karen, that was absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for bringing value to our Survive to Thrive group.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Everybody, that's a wrap. We got to jump. I'm late for my next appointment. Karen, make an amazing day. Everybody here, make an amazing day. See you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Thanks, Karen.
Amazing, Karen. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.